Hi guys, today you're going to be joining me looking at this thing, the Aiologs sequential shifter, and we're going to have a quick unpacking of the device, setting it up on our rig, and then seeing how it performs. It's a little cheaper than the Heusinkveld sequential shifter we reviewed a couple of weeks back, so it'd be interesting to have them face off each other. So let's get to it. So here we have the shifter unit itself. It's got a nice little perspex top so you can see all of the components at work. It's a little dust and like that. It's got the Aiologs logo stamped on the front. And it's nicely machined. The other side we've got a USB-D port and some little button. This is a reset button, some description. And yeah, it's a fairly clean looking device. Let's have a look at the other components that we get. So we have the shifter knob, which is nice machined aluminium part. A little worm screw in there for tightening it. We have the extra long rod, and you can shorten it. As you can see in the middle there's a reduction, but I actually wanted the longer shifter. And you can adjust the length by tightening up the worm screws, which we'll do later on. We get a bunch of components, and these are mostly for clamping on the desk, but we also have some Allen keys in here and some screws that we can use for mounting the shifter. We're a bit tight on the bag, but I mean, if you're going to scrimp anywhere, that's a reasonable place to do so. I said most of these parts are really for the desk mount, which I won't be using, as I have a 80/20 rig, which I will be showing you mounting for in a sec. See the USB-D extension cable we have? So it has an A side, a D side. Is okay. Instruction manuals, pretty lightweight. It's fair enough. It shows you the various mounting options we have for the mounting plate. So I'm using a side mounting later on, but I could be using this so it mounts to the top of my aluminium profile. We also have the desk mount. We have one sticker here, which shows you that I did get it second hand. But, you know, it's hard to get hold of in the UK. Quite a chunky mounting plate with various holes. This is the table clamp, pretty substantial. First up, let's just tighten up the worm screws. It tightens the head against the shaft, and then we screw the shaft into the shifter itself. It's all pretty straightforward. And then with a little bit of resistance, we can feel the shift itself, which feels nice and mechanical. See, there's less resistance because of the length of the shaft we've chosen. Now we have to look at our mounting options. And we have, as we saw in the booklet, quite a few different options for this. But we're going to undo these two screws. And then we can see those longer screws that we got in the bag are what we then use to mount the shifter. just making sure that I'm picking the right holes here because it's got a few, and that's due to the different mounting options that you have available to you. So pop the plate on. So you can see here I've actually unscrewed part of the mechanism, so I'm going to have to push that all the way back through. But we use these longer screws. You can see the difference there. Push them through, tighten nicely. Make sure they're nice and tight with the Allen key. And that's pretty much ready to go in our rig. And we can see the shifter mounted in the rig on the outside of the aluminium profile. It's a little bit longer, and you can see that gets quite close now to the handbrake. But it fits, which is the main thing. As I have both shifters on me, I thought it'd be interesting to look at the profile difference between the Heusinkveld and the Aiologs shifters. You can see that the shaft of the Aiologs is much longer and the box is deeper. So if you are very short on space, you're probably going to be preferring the Heusinkveld, albeit it's at a slightly higher cost. So you can see they're both pretty small units, but the Aiologs has a bigger footprint than Heusinkveld here. So in order to test the sequential shifter against Heusinkveld, I thought it only fair to have the same test game involved. So again, we break out Dirt Rally 2. And it had been a while since I'd played a Dirt Rally, so it's a little rusty. But it wasn't long before I was able to be reasonably fast through here with the Aiologs shifter. I found the longer arm very useful, and you can see I just about still have clearance with the shifter against the handbrake. It's close, but it is just about enough space. Whereas with the Heusinkveld shifter, I had ample room for manoeuvring. So whilst the Aiologs does fit, the Heusinkveld is definitely a better fit for the rig footprint that I have available. They both feel great. They have that nice mechanical shift feeling. There's a bit less resistance on the Aiologs, but that's mostly because I have the longer arm in play. Overall, I felt the tension was just about right for shifting in VR, which is where I'd race. I could definitely feel that positive action when I had successfully shifted into a gear. So that was quite nice. Overall, I feel the shift feeling is slightly better in the Heusinkveld unit, but it's really marginal, and for the price difference, I would say I'd rate these two devices about the same.
6 right, 40, middle of a crest into 6 left, slow 30, unseen happy left.
So this has been quite a tough comparison with the Heusinkveld versus Aiologs. They're both very good shifters in their own right. They both give you a nice positive feel. That's a nice mechanical feel. But I think the Heusinkveld unit has the edge on it just, but it's really close. The price difference, it does count, and you pretty much save yourself a video game's worth of currency by getting the Aiologs. You're also supporting a slightly smaller brand, which is always nice to see. It is well machined. It is really well built. It's built like a tank. It has LEDs, if you like those things. Personally, it doesn't really make a difference to me because I'm in VR. And overall, I think they are pretty much even Stevens. There's not anything that I can think would separate the two of them. The smaller footprint of the Heusinkveld means that you've got a very tight space, like I do, then you're probably inclined to go for the Heusinkveld unit. But other than that, I can't really say that either one of them wins over the other. So I would say it's pretty much a draw. And yeah, if you want to save yourself a few quid, go for the Aiologs unit. If you trust the Heusinkveld brand a little more, then by all means go for that unit. It's still a great shifter, and it's still pretty good value for money, in my opinion. It's really dependent on what you prioritize. They are both great shifters. Okay, so if you liked this video, please give it the thumbs up. Leave me a nice comment in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Goodbye for now.